Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. I am super excited to be coming to you with a book review today. I finished reading Vicious by V.E. Schwab last night and I loved it. I did a buddy read of this with Dasha from my Thick Pages, so I'll make sure I leave a link to her channel below. She and I started talking about this a few weeks ago, and like the next day we were like, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and start. At first we were reading 3 chapters a day, but the chapters are pretty short, so then we upped it to 6 chapters a day, and I don't even know at what point we were at. Like, I think we had a couple more days and then we were just like, we're gonna finish this tonight. So worth it. It was so good. I absolutely loved every minute of it. In this book, we follow college roommates Victor and Eli as they start doing life-threatening, dangerous experiments to try to prove a theory. Shit goes left, and then 10 years later, Victor is just broken out of jail and is on the hunt to find and kill Eli. I'm giving this a 5-star rating on Goodreads. What I would really give it is more like a 4.75, but that's really only because I realized that in order for me to get invested into the plot, I have to really like the characters, and I kind of fucking hated Eli throughout the entire thing. But otherwise, it's so good, and I highly recommend it if you like villains, morally great characters, revenge plots, supernatural powers, or a found family vibe. That's not something that I expected to find in this one, but I really do like it, and I love the little group of characters that we kind of follow, and it was just so good. I highly recommend it. I think another reason that I like this, I guess I like revenge plots, which I didn't really realize until I had finished this. I don't know if anybody's seen the show Revenge that used to come on ABC. It came out a while ago, so it's been a little while, but starring Emily Van Camp, and she's super determined to destroy all the lives who she thinks killed her father, and she like comes up with some really crazy schemes, but I love that show. So I think revenge plots are something that I need to look for. I never consciously look for it, but I think it's something that I really do like. If you have not yet read Vicious and you would like to, this is your official spoiler warning. I'm going to spoil everything for you, so seriously do not watch this part if you plan to read this book. So like I typically do, I'm going to do a run through of the characters, starting with Victor. I did not like college Victor. I felt like he was always in a secret competition with Eli, and I just don't really like when people constantly compare themselves to other people, and I just think it's stupid and like takes up way too much of his thoughts. Like, he's always thinking about, oh, before Eli this and before Eli that, and Eli took Angie from me and whatever. So I really wasn't into him then, but adult Victor I love. Yeah, he's a dick, and no, he's not perfect, he's not even necessarily good, but I really like him. And I know he tries to act like he doesn't really care, but he cares a lot about Mitch and Sydney, so, and I just love the little family that they've created. Next is Eli. As I mentioned, I never really liked him. I don't know what it was about him. I just felt like in the flashbacks when they were still in college, he was just very smug, and I think he knew how to press Victor's button, so he was just like constantly doing it. I don't know, he just kind of seems like an asshole. And then when he's an adult, after he's an EO, and like when Victor is tracking him down, he's literally the worst. He has this God complex where he thinks that it's up to him to rid the world of EOs because they're unnatural, they go against God, yet he's made an exception for himself. Like, dude, you're being a hypocrite, and you're a serial killer. I don't think God wants you to be a serial killer. And then the fact that he refers to himself as a hero, like, I feel like actual heroes don't actually refer to themselves as heroes, and he's just so fucking self-righteous. I don't know, I hate him. Next is Mitch. I absolutely love him. I love how he grounds Victor when he's spinning a little bit out of control, and how he always protects Sydney, and he's so crazy smart, and I love that. And I like how he talks about the stigma that people usually place on him, is that because he's so big and burly, he can't possibly be smart. And I think that particular stereotype for men isn't always talked about, but we might see it a lot with the brains and beauty for girls. Like, a woman can't possibly be pretty and smart, which is so fucking annoying. But I think it's also important to point out the contrast of that. But also, like, can we just let that die already? Like, come on now, we're better than that. But even with like his whole curse and everything, I just love the way that he always protected Victor. Even to the very end, he's like, we're probably gonna die tonight. But he is literally the definition of ride or die. And I love that. Next character I want to talk about is Sydney. And really, like, there's nothing to dislike about Sydney. Literally, she is just a child. Like, what are you gonna do with that? I was wondering what her role was, because when Victor picked her up, I was like, well, how did you end up, you're trying to kill someone. How on earth did you pick up a 13-year-old girl? But I just love their little family that they created, like I said before. And I love the part where Serena tells Sydney to go somewhere safe and she goes to find Victor. That, it got me. Really hit me in the feels for a second, but then we got back on track, so you know. Revenge, murder, all that. The next character is Serena, and I fucking hate this bitch with a passion. Not only the way that she, one, abandoned Sydney, two, was willing to just stand by and let Eli kill her because of his whole god complex and whatever the fuck. But also the way that Sydney and Eli meet, right? So she's at a party. He's stalking her because that's what he does. And she, like, I understand that she can be in control and she can tell him what to do. But why would you want to seduce somebody who tried to kill you? I don't get that. And also, with her, even in that moment and then like a little later when they actually sleep together, the whole like her saying, kiss me again, you're not gonna kill me today. Like, you making someone kiss you against their will with your little mind game thingy makes you a predator. It's weird. And also, why do you want to sleep with a serial killer? I just don't get it. I also didn't understand why she just didn't say flat out, you're not gonna kill me ever, because she has the power to do that. But instead she would just tell him every day, you're not gonna kill me today, or you're not gonna kill me tonight. And I don't know. I mean, I was kind of hoping that he would kill her at some point, but I'm equally satisfied that Victor was the one to do it. And that he was smart enough to burn her body. So aside from how great the plot and the characters are in this story, I also really like the pacing. Like I said, the chapters are super, super short. So there's never a point where you're starting to get bored, something's always happening. And a lot of times the chapters end on cliffhangers, which I really, really like. Although I did not appreciate being led to believe that Mitch died on 2 separate occasions. I didn't need that. But the way that they end like that, a lot of times you're like, oh fuck, when you get to the end of the chapter, because you think you realize something crazy has either just happened or is about to happen. And with everything going on, the fact that they ended up staying in the same hotel, when I finally fucking realized that shit, I was like, oh my god, shit's about to go down. I was so ready for the showdown, and I feel like it was kind of a repeat of the first time Eli and Victor went at it. It was very bloody and very gory, but very true to the tone of the story, which I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm typically into like gory deaths or anything. I mean, it's nowhere near like Game of Thrones caliber, but like a lot of blood. So with the ending, I wonder, you know how like typically in YA, parents are always like absent. So like obviously like Serena was kind of just like brainwashing their parents or whatever. But now that Serena's dead and Sydney is probably gonna stay with Mitch and Victor, I wonder like how her parents are going to take that. That's kind of like the only open-ended question that I have. That and the fact that technically we don't know if Eli can actually die, so he's probably just gonna spend the rest of his life in prison, which he deserves. And at the end of the day, I love that Sydney and Mitch went to go get Victor after he had already died, but so I'm so glad that she brought him back. So when we were about halfway through this book, I went ahead and ordered Vengeful. I've also heard there's supposed to be part 3, which is interesting. I also don't actually know what Vengeful is about. I never read the synopsis. I just bought it because Vicious was so good. But I'm gonna read the synopsis for Vengeful now. Okay, this sounds interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna read it anyway because I assume that it's gonna be very good. So it looks like Eli, Sydney, and Mitch stick around and Merritt, and then this new person comes along, Marcella Riggins, and she starts fucking wreaking havoc all over the damn place. So she's also an EO. She's taking over the mob, and she's somehow gonna bring Victor and Eli into that. I don't know. I'm excited though, and I'm ready. Dasha and I agreed to buddy read this as well, so maybe we'll do that next month, so I can read some other stuff. I'm also finishing Truly Devious. I will probably finish that today. This is the one that I've been buddy reading with my friend Cassie. Yeah, in my Nope Trope video, I talked about how Truly Devious might be a book that I started to hate but might end up loving, and I don't think that's gonna be the case anymore, but we'll see how it ends. I think I have 3 chapters left, so hopefully I'll finish this tonight, and then I don't know if I'm gonna read the next one. As of right now, I am not. I'm probably gonna DNF that series, but anyway, really excited about this. Cannot wait to get started. Highly recommend Vicious. 5-star read. Absolutely loved it. So that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.